there and welcome back to my channel. So I'm Vicky, I'm from Charming Raindrops as per usual. If you're new here, then thank you very much for being here. If you've been here before, thank you very much for coming back. So this video is going to be for January, as you can blatantly see, because I'm started on my monthly page. So this is Plan With Me January 2025. I have a subject on this one. It's going to be like 80s colourful stuff and doodles, but I have no actual plan as to where this is going, so we'll just see what happens. And I'm also starting this is going to be using up a box of stickers, but it's also using up the pens that I have rather than buying more. So yeah, there's going to be a nice selection of pens because I've literally just got them all out and I've got them all ready to go. So I can just say, if that's the colour I want, that's what I'm going to use. So I think these are my Staedtler brush tip pens, which I got given quite recently. They'll make an appearance, the brown one will anyway, in my reading journal, because I'm colouring in shelves. So as you can see, the 80s vibe is truly here, and I've got a quote, which isn't particularly 80s, but it's just very uplifting. So I've got things like Rubik's Cubes and cassette tapes. I hate to think what people think who don't know what one of those is, but we'll soon see. And then we've got things like Tamagotchis. They're making a comeback, so I can safely assume people will know what that is. Okay, so from the cassette, I'm using the tape to make like a border. So for those people that aren't au fait with cassettes, they had tape in them that you could pull out, that usually when it was broken it would just fall out. So I'm using that as part of my border. So you've got other things like cameras when they weren't attached to mobile phones, and then it's a case of just doing some doodles. So I'm going to do some sort of lightning strikes and some, I want to say curly whirlies, but I don't know what else they're called, whirly things. And I've also got some really nice blue sort of blobby washi tape, which I got from Shein. So that's also going to make an appearance probably throughout these spreads. I'm going to carry on with some stars. As I say, we're literally just, there's no real plan to this. It's just wherever the mood takes me. I do love these dotty pens. You can almost have just dots. They can be different, depending on how much pressure you put on the pen, it just makes a completely different vibe. So I've got loads of those, so I'm going to be using those in many different ways, mainly for my content planner. And then I've got a lovely quote to go underneath that talks about social media. Was life better before social media? I don't think I'm allowed to say that because I do use it for my channel, but my god, it was a lot simpler. But sometimes it could be a little bit more boring as well. So, it goes both ways. I've got a huge gap, so I'm thinking I may as well write Welcome 2025, because I don't want to have any more pictures, as it were. And then we move on to the next page. So I've decided that round habit trackers are the way forward. If I do them in any other shape, I don't do it. I just don't fill it in. So I'm doing it in a circle this time, but it's going to be a slightly different circle because it's going to be more uniform, so it's not going to have all the bits sticking out and all of that malarkey like it did last time. It's going to be a just a round circle. I want to say almost like a record, but then there'll be people that will have no idea. Actually, no, they've made a comeback. No, people should know what records look like. I mean, I'm not old enough to be around when records were first around. That was kind of my parents' thing. But, yeah, they made a comeback. I should be alright with that. People should know what they are. So, anyway, back to habit trackers. So, now I'm separating them out. There'll be some which will have pictures on like they did last time. But I have a variety of habits, whether they're weekly, daily, or monthly targets. And then the topic is going around the outside this time. It reminds me of a game show, I just can't think which one off the top of my head. If anyone has any idea what this reminds them of, game show wise, answer in the comments, because it's starting to bug me. It was bugging me when I was drawing it, and it's bugging me now that I'm watching it and talking over it. Because I still don't know. But, what can we do? I do apologise, it's focusing on the end of my pen again. It turns out that it makes no difference whether it has the number on the end or not. It just focuses because the pen gets a little bit too close, I think. So I'll work on that for next time. So the daily tasks, they're all going to have 31 boxes in it because there's 31 days in January. Isn't it nice when you know? When you know, you know. So there's 31 days in January, so they've all got 31 boxes in. They don't all look symmetrical, they don't all look the same, but there's 31 boxes, and to be honest, I quite like the slight quirkiness to it. I mean, before I liked everything to be uniform, but it's almost like it's quite nice to have that journally, not everything being the same as per usual. So I'm rubbing out my pencil lines, and then it's a case of just colouring it in. So I'm colouring some of it in, and obviously some bits I'll colour in as I complete my habits. I'll zoom in so you can see a little bit more of what I'm doing with my habits. It's more around making sure I clean the piggies out, which does get done anyway, but it's just having something to colour in afterwards. Basic tidying up, journaling and healthy eating, so it's all fairly, I want to say sensible things. But, sometimes we all need a little bit of help with these things, and I'm trying to do very hard in 2025. To be honest, I've already started to do more in my routines rather than do more to routines, rather than it just being a case of just trying to muddle through and hope for the best. I think I get to a certain point when they don't cut my stickers. I think the paper's different, so it doesn't quite cut in quite the same way. So after a while I decided it's probably easier just to draw a line over it and then cut all the stickers down. We live and we learn. But that's the thing, it doesn't have to be perfect all of the time. So I'm going to decorate the 3 sections that are left, just because it is nice to have a little bit of decoration on my habit tracker. And also, if I have too much to do, it almost feels like a chore. Whereas, to be honest, I want to get things moving, but I kind of want it to be fun too. And you get a few more doodles. I was clearly in the mood to doodle, which is probably a good thing, because that's what this spread's all about. These spreads do look quite busy, but I'm finding that it's actually encouraging me to come back and look at them. I mean, I did this yesterday, and the washi tape's back. I did this yesterday, and to be honest, today I keep going back and looking at it, because I'm thinking, isn't it so beautiful? And that does seem a little bit, I don't know, just seems like I'm blowing my own trumpet. But I do find that if I think like that, then I'm more likely to fill it in. Which is the answer, really, because whatever's going to make me want to fill it in is the way it needs to be. So self-care bingo. Now this will be one that will look drastically different, because I've decided to get rid of all those horrible little boxes, the teeny boxes, and there was so much. I was never colouring them all in. I was never completing the whole thing. So what I've done is I am going to have bigger boxes, which is almost taken a bit from my my pages where I'm doing my dinner bingo and using up coffee sachets. I'm going to decorate that page first, but I'll still talk about self-care bingo. So with self-care bingo, I've used that kind of idea to have bigger boxes and less of them, and then it doesn't matter if I've coloured them all in by the end of the month. There's still going to be 16 boxes. That's still 4 things a week. That's a heck of a lot still. So I'm trialling this because the other ones with the tiddly boxes, I was probably not even getting halfway. And to be honest, I think that's why my brain was like, I've had enough of this now. Because it was literally just, I was never going to achieve. To get all of it done was actually getting quite stressful, and that's not the point. So less boxes, bigger boxes, so they actually look nicer. I think this spread actually looks nicer than the one where there's all the tiddly little boxes. I think otherwise it just gets a little bit I don't want to say busy, because my spreads are busy, but it's with decoration it's fine, but when you've got like, I can't remember how many boxes I had. It was something ridiculous, like 30 odd boxes, if not more, and it was just too many boxes. So I think I've gone on to this. We'll try 16 boxes and see whether to be honest, I'm totally up for lowering it again. If I'm finding I'm not hitting it, I will lower it again, because it's just, this is supposed to be fun, and it's supposed to be helping me look after myself. If I'm looking at self-care bingo and thinking, oh my god, there's a lot of boxes, I'm feeling stressed, it's not really the answer. And I know there'll be somebody not sighing, they'll be saying, yes, I've been telling you that for months. I know. But sometimes when you look at it, you think, actually, this could be better. So when's the best time to change it? Let's change it in the new year. Next spread, let's do it. So I did. Got some more 80s things, and then we'll get the dotty pens out again. Excuse me. I still can't get rid of that horrible cough. So I still want to do a lot with I still want to look at my weight in 2025. So on the left hand side, well, we're going to do we'll do the right hand side first, is a happiness wheel, and that's something similar to, I'm going to draw this, but spoiler alert, I'm probably going to print something out and stick it on instead, because it's not particularly very, I can't think of the word, it's not particularly symmetrical. I mean, these lines start so well, and then I start drawing them freehand, and the whole thing just goes to pot, and we will see that happening. So what will happen is what I'll probably do is I'll probably stick something over the top of it. But anyway, the thought process behind this is a little bit to level 10 life. So you get to the end of the month, and you're just looking into how you feel about certain parts of your life. I mean, this is not really going to be that deep. It's almost like 5 minutes. What do I think? What am I going to do? Is there anything I feel like I've built on this month? Yeah, you can see how wonky that is. It probably will not stay like that. I'm going to probably print something out to go on instead. So my 8 sections is mental health, body image, which is related to the page on the left, self-care, fun and recreation, spiritual, personal development, routines, and health and fitness. There's the other one. So I can never remember what all 8 are, all in one go. So then for measurements, I'm going to have 4 boxes around the outside, and I'm just going to keep a tally of, well, the first out box is going to say January, but I'm going to have 4 boxes surrounding that. There's going to be one for every week. And then what I'll do is once a week, I will measure myself, because sometimes it's not necessarily about weight, sometimes it can be measurements. So I figured that if I do weight and measurements, then I've got the best of both worlds, because then it might be that if one changes but the other one doesn't change, that I've got something to build on, and I don't want to lose momentum too quickly when this is the ideal, this is what I want to do, and 2025 is going to be the year I'm going to do it. I'm determined this time. And there'll be people that will say, yes, but you've said that before. But now I'm, working on myself, as it were. I really want to make a huge effort to do what I need to do, what I need / want to do. And this is one of the ones that I actually want to do. So it's going to happen. Even if it's a slow process, it's still going to happen. So I'm going to stick a few more 80s stickers on here. I will keep you updated on how the health eating and the weight loss goes. It'll probably come up in, I don't know if I'm going to do a separate video or whether it'll come up in my normal videos. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm not putting any pressure on myself, but it is something that I would quite like to achieve. And we're going to do some more doodles. Because, well, why not? This is our second to last spread, and this is mainly, it's a version of gratitude, but it's also, I need to do a heading for this one, it's a feeling of gratitude, but it's also something where you write something that's happened that's been positive on any given day, and then it just gives you something to go back and look at the end, at any time that you're feeling a little bit low. It gives you something to look back on. So I'm going to give this a try. I saw it on YouTube. I can't remember whose YouTube I saw it on, so I apologise to that poor soul, because I haven't refound the video either. So this is the last spread, and this is going on with the health and fitness. Well, at least the healthy eating part of it is that I'm going to do a shopping list page for each week. This is a way of me getting really into meal planning, make sure I'm not overbuying when I do my weekly shop, but also to keep an eye on the healthiness of what I'm eating, lunches, meal planning, you know, just really being in charge of what's going on, what's going into my body. Because my body, at the end of the day, our bodies are our temples, and we need to look after them. I know it's taken me God knows how many years to get to this conclusion, but at the end of the day, you know, it's not a race. But what I've done, so I've done some like cutouts, some stickers. So that's my meal plan, and then that's the things that I generally choose from. So they're the main things that I buy, and then I add to it. So I'm going to have both of those on there. There'll be 4 of these pages by the time that I'm done. But there'll also be, in the gap, there'll be a drawn-in square. And that's almost going to be like a post-it note for any extra notes or anything I want to add to the delivery. Or anything that we need during the week, to be honest. Because at the end of the day, we generally need veg halfway through the week. So, yeah. So that is that spread, and then what I'll do is I'll use that for my planning, probably on a Sunday or a Saturday afternoon, because with that I can then get organised, ready for the week after. So the idea of 2025 is to get organised, get sorted, and do as much as I can, but I'm not holding myself responsible as much. At the end of the day, I know this is not going to all happen straight away. I'm going to try my best, but it might not necessarily happen straight away. So if we have a final flick through, we can see the pages that I've created. I had no idea this is what they were going to look like when we started out. But, you know, I think they are a little bit beautiful. So that's all. So thank you very much for coming. If you like what you see, please like, comment and subscribe, and click the bell notification if you want to. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Take care.